all the leagues I played in. I played in Game Time. I played in Tough. I played in Zips for a little bit. I played in Top Gun. You know, I've seen it all. This league is going to go somewhere because of the mindset of the person who owns it. And the reality is everybody else's mindset, I always knew from sitting down and talking to them, it was always a fuck you system and a backstab you as soon as you turn around.
Today we're coming with a surprise podcast. Not really surprised because for you guys, but surprise for me. Like, I didn't even know this podcast was happening. We didn't schedule anything. I thought we were just going to a lovely little business meeting in a random hotel complex and off the 8. But when I got there, pulled up, and I was like, I'm about to get my Gary V on and just record this business deal, see what happens. But we did that. It was a good time, but let's get into a little background of what the meeting was actually about. It was me, Caio, Ribeiro. I'm not sure I pronounced the last name. Ribeiro, something like that. But he has been the flag communities up there in Orange County, I believe. But, I mean, he's played all around. And then Mark Lizama? Gosh, I should double check these things before I record. But he is the owner, founder, creator, CEO, CFO, all those stuff, all those things of Undisputed Flag Football, which I had never really heard about until, today, essentially. Mark gets into it, he gives me a whole background, the past, present, and future of the league, the project, and it sounds exciting. He got me pumped up, just the way he was talking about it. He's either really passionate or a really good salesman. Maybe a little bit of both. But we had a good time. Like I said, we met up. Ezra joined us too. And essentially the meetings was brought up by Caio as just like a way to get involved. It's like a partnership for the league with the flags. Maybe some media stuff. I don't know. But I think mostly it's going to go flags. And I'm excited to work something out because we've never really, or we haven't so far, have any partnerships or sponsorships come through any other leagues or tournaments, organizations. I guess we have. Others have been doing a good job in Mexico. He's hitting up all TJ flags and all that stuff that got there. But I'm excited for this, see how it goes. It was just like this was our initial meeting, so I should be up there this next weekend for their first week of season. All the AFFL stuff. There's a bunch of things going on. I got to get back from Tough. But whatever. I'm rambling. So, sum it up. It's me, Mark, Caio, and Ezra just talking about the league and essentially what our future might be with them. It was a good time. Man, Caio loves flag. Let me say that much. Alright, hope you guys enjoy this.
For your flags, that's your money. We're not going to come and mess up your guys' deal because that's what you guys are getting. That's your money.
Okay.
We'd like to have you guys come like when we have tournaments, first week of the season maybe, if that, or every weekend if you want. It's up to you. But either the first week of the season and the tournament so you guys can pick up as many flag orders as you can at that point. And at the end of the day, when we're selling, like when people are buying our jerseys and our shorts, we want to say, hey, we can also get you a set of flags.
Yeah.
And then pretty much know what your pricing would be to kind of get them a full set.
Yeah.
And then we pretty much combo it all together where everybody went. So pretty much we cut you a check for whatever it is for your flags, and then you guys get that. And we're not going to do like, I know a lot of other, flag companies, they're like, okay, well, he's charging me $15, I'll put an extra $5 and I'll make my $5 off of that. No, that's a waste. We're not trying to do that. Like, there's no point of that. Like, we want to make sure that it's a partnership so everybody's kind of gaining. You're going to gain ground because at the end of the day, I don't know how much you're selling out, but you could sell more if there's teams that are signing up automatically and they're going, yep, I'll take 10 flags plus the 10 tops plus everything. You combo it together, everybody wins. So that's kind of what we want to do.
So what's your guys' draw for us? Like, why are you even contacting me? Like, well, I'm trying to say, like, what you want, is it just like providing that service?
Well, we'd like to have you guys, like, first of all, you have your social media gallery, which is nice. Yeah. We'd like to have you involved. I like the videos that you post up. It's like, it's always entertaining. I love watching that stuff. Like, it's like there's nobody out there. Even like when Tough kind of did their little like podcast type deal. It was cool because it was like, but it still wasn't like, it was two people that nobody really knew flag community wise, and then so we're like, all right, we're cool, we'll listen to it because it was, but you're somebody that's played and everybody kind of knows. So it kind of helps to kind of know that, because it's like, how can I'll listen to this one guy, but he's never played a game of flag football before. I've never seen this guy before. Never won a championship. Nobody that I can relate to. Nobody I can.
This is actually my partner right here, Ezra.
Hey, nice to meet you, man. Kyle,
nice to meet you, man.
So what up, Mikey? Oh, you think about the coffee too? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He was ready. He was like, man, I'm ready. Coffee and everything.
You know what? That's actually a good point. That's one thing when I hung out with the tough guys with Danny and Steve. I told him, I was like, dude, it sucks because like I have or even when I do video and stuff, like I have the benefit that I have been around to have. So I know there's
credibility behind what you say.
I know what it looks like as a player, like when a player wants to see. So I was like, damn, that's not fair for you guys. But I mean, it was cool. I took advantage of it.
You said, I'm sorry, it was
Kyle,
my bad.
Hold on, let me get you.
What up, Doug?
Chilling, man.
Hey. Why are you off today?
Bro, I have to take some car parts down to TJ, so this hood-ass place.
They're working on it for you?
They're going to chrome it, and they do all the lowriders.
Oh, really?
And, this guy, his name is Siete Dedos. And
oh, God!
So that was like kind of the deal. So like when I would listen to that podcast, so like, it's cool. It was nice, but there's like I want to listen to somebody who's played the game. You know, somebody who knows a little bit. So that's why when I watch yours, I'm like, it was entertaining when you guys did the Zimmerman one. That was kind of cool.
Oh man,
you know what's funny?
I feel bad.
So you shouldn't feel bad because you know what? I backed Mike up for a little bit, and then he did that shiesty shit where him and Fred are suing each other, and he was trying to serve me to go to court because me and him had a conversation. Like, we had a private conversation where I was talking to him, and he was like, oh no, my attorney thinks it's best for you to testify in court. I'm like, Mike, I was having a conversation with you. I'm not testifying in court for you. So he, like, I was at work, and some dude fucking came to my house, and I was at work, and he tried to like serve me, and my wife was like, he's not here. He just fucking pushed the door and threw the papers through the fucking door. And I called Mike. I said, dude, that dude, if anybody comes to my house again, dude, I'll come to yours.
What's going on, brother?
So this is Mark.
Nice to meet you.
Armando. What's up, man? Ezra.
Oh, I don't know you, sir. How are you? I don't know that guy. So I was just kind of talking to them a little bit before you got here, but he's the dude. He's the guy who owns the league. He's the guy that's pushing it all forward.
When did you guys start this? Like, I really have no clue about it.
We actually started last September.
Oh, by the way, I asked him if it was cool if I could record this, like, is for a podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So we started last September, but the talks had started like years prior. Because we were playing in Top Gun for a while, and
just over it.
Just from the first get-go, when I first came out, I got invited by a coworker, and then I saw it, and I was just like, I remember getting the flyers in the mail, and I'm like, wow, this thing's like huge. There was 50 teams, you know, it was.
Is Top Gun still going? Just like
it folded. And
really?
It was kind of crazy, dude. He took deposits from everybody for Tustin, and that was the last
season.
Yeah, and then he just pretty much had some random guy that nobody ever knew, because I had paid mine, and it just goes, hey, Top Gun's done. And I said, what? Oh, we're gonna be mailing a deposit. Some people had to dispute their credit card charges because he didn't want to pay anybody out their money back.
Tom just went ghost.
Yeah, he went like MIA quick. Like, I mean, we went from having a season and it ended and everything was good, and then I don't know, dude, everybody thinks he's dead, but I know he's still alive because he lives in Buena Park. So he's not like too like, but I mean, it folded so fast for something that was so big. I remember when I first played there, it was crazy how much you would never think of flag football. You think kids, right?
Yeah.
You see grown ass men that are ridiculous athletes going out there fucking playing at a high level that you were like, if they would have started putting that on TV then, now is okay, but if they would have started putting it on TV then, I guarantee you somebody would still be watching that. That would be on a top network for sure.
That's crazy.
Some of the greatest players I've ever seen have played that game. Because that's all they got after you play college ball. What else can you do unless work? So you got to find somewhere to like have fun. And that was it, dude. And you see some of these guys are like, oh yeah, man, I played at Golden West College, or I played here, I played San Diego State. You're like, all right, man, all right. And the guy's fucking Randy Moss looking dude, just jumping up, mossing everybody. You're like, the little dude's right there. He's like, I don't want to play with this guy anymore. Can I go to D3, please? Can I go to D3, please, next season? I don't want to see that guy ever again. He made me look bad in front of my family. My kids are crying in the parking lot. And I don't want to play. But anyways,
So you saw Top Gun, and then you just thought kind of going downhill, or what?
No, just from the get-go, I realized like, whoa, there's a lot much more potential than I ever would have expected.
Yeah.
And once I had like, I came on with his team. His team was just like all unorganized. So I was all right. The next season I'm gonna bring on my own team. And then once I went out there and I did the whole entire process, registering with him and everything else, I just realized right off the bat, I'm like, you know what, I can do this way fucking better, dude. And so then that's when it just the idea started going. And then at the time I was working at Wells Fargo, so I didn't really put too much time and effort into it.
Yeah.
I was just trying to figure out like the insurances, the field rental costs, and like everything else. Just like what's it gonna really cost to start up? And I had reached out to some of my friends because I started playing there in 2010, and then in 2012, I started really ramping up. Like, hey, you know what?
So ever since then, you already think about it. You already knew like, hey, I want to do my own thing.
Exactly. So then, by that time, like I was ready to go, but then the two guys that I was working with, they were like, you know, ready to help out, but I just didn't want to put the pressure on myself if nobody else can kind of carry it, you know. So I was like, okay, you know, I think I'll do it. So then I started the process, but then I got involved with the different industry at the time, and it just took up all of my time. So I was like, you know what, I'd rather just start. That's my bread and butter right now. So I was like, I'm gonna just focus on that. And then once I rode that wave, and I just kind of got to learn a lot of, you know, just management wise and opening and operations and just expenses and costs, everything else. I got a little more comfortable with the idea of like, you know what, let's do this. Let's pull the trigger on it. And then we had started, but then my firstborn was born. So then that kind of like derailed everything because I just wanted to make sure, you know, obviously to be attentive and everything else.
Yeah, priorities.
Exactly. And then I got myself involved from the dispensary world into the call center world, and then that's when it just completely consumed my life. Where it was just like, yeah. So for the last like 5 years, I just literally been doing like the whole entire like call centers, small business loans, things like that, and that just literally took up all my time and effort. And it was great money. Don't get me wrong. It's a phenomenal industry, but it's really demanding on you. And after a while, you just kind of like, cool, like you're making boatloads of money, but realistically, it just wasn't happening. And it's just like, it was kind of one of those things where you're like, you know, the guy that can have it all, but doesn't really have what he wants. So at that point, I just realized, you know what, like the headaches aren't really worth it anymore. I don't really want to keep pursuing and chasing and having to keep doing all these things that I've been doing. So then I was like, you know what, I'm just at a good point in my life where, hey, I'm gonna just focus my time and effort into just finally pulling the trigger on this.
Really?
Yeah. And then surprisingly, when I came back into Top Gun, that's when I ran into my friends that were gonna help me out before. And we hadn't talked for a little bit of time, and then he approached me. He's like, hey, you know, like, did anything ever happen with the flag football thing? And yeah, sure enough, I was just like, well, not really, but I was like already like starting the process of like filling out all the paperwork, applying for the licenses and things. And at that point, I was just like, okay, fine, that's just a sign. You know, I haven't talked to you guys in a minute. Let's do this. And then from that point on, I just started letting go, selling off everything else, partnership-wise and everything, and just was like, you know, I'm just gonna go 100% in it. And that's where I'm at right now, where it's just like, you know, I have this vision, I have a 5-year, you know, business plan, where the end goal is to be able to have like my own full-blown facility that we build up from the ground up with the whole indoor, you know, atmosphere of having like the games, the tournaments, renting it out to other leagues and things like that, because obviously it has to be able to produce money. But we're gonna have a full-blown gym in there, supplement company, hopefully, you know, working something out with wholesale nutrition, just, you know, kind of ramping up all the ideas of what I exactly want in that 5-year plan. But so far we've hit all of our markers that we want to hit in the first year, and we're just 8 months in, to be honest. So
you're getting me excited. You sound like him when he talks about the like flag stuff. Like it's literally just like notching it up every time.
And that's just the main thing, is just a lot of people don't realize like there's a lot of opportunity in this, because it's still like, this is not even the tip of the iceberg of where we're at with flag football, because it's been around and it's just never been done correctly. And there's other leagues that obviously have done things to make things interesting, but the longevity of things, it's like, and the main thing is that for myself, the challenge was, what am I going to do differently than everyone else that has fucked up?
Yeah, 100%.
And I think the biggest thing was I never really think, and I'm not sure, how religious you are, but I don't really think God puts things into your lap unless you're really ready to take it on.
Yeah.
And I feel like all the stressors that you have and all the things that you have to overcome with all my other industries that I had, it came with a lot of problems, a lot of baggage and everything else. But with every job that I had and every business that I opened and I closed, all of these things and these skills and these traits that I learned over that time of working for myself since I was 16, it all kind of like came full circle now where, I'm literally basically a one-man show. I have 2 friends that were helping me out in the beginning, but I've learned over the time that you can't really depend on people to do the job that you want unless they're vested into it. And I've always been the person to say, look, don't bring any capital, don't worry about that, because I don't want that to be their excuse. And once you take away that excuse and that mindset of like, well, I don't know if I can really afford to do that because I have all these bills and I have this job to maintain. Well, it's like, don't worry about that. And in this instance, it kind of like it kind of hurt some of the business aspect of things, but it also kind of brought up a lot of things to light where it's like, bringing in the right people, like, Kyle and I barely met him like last year, but the mindset that we have where we can carry on a conversation where it's like I can throw him an idea, he can give me some constructive criticism, which I've learned over the years, like, anybody can just tear me apart and I'm gonna use what they're saying. I'm never gonna take offense to it in a professional manner, but it's like you got to bring different people around you that are going to be able to push it to the next level. So to tell you that I haven't had offers already for someone to buy the league. I've already had 4 offers to have someone buy the league. But
really?
Yeah, and I'm not interested in that because I'm not here for just the quick turnaround. The 5-year plan is just to get my feet on the ground and to do it in a way where I have this infrastructure built where there's really going to be no fail, and the room for error is going to be really marginal, where it's not going to be make or break for a season.
Yeah.
Where if I have a season where only 15 teams come out, well, those 15 teams are going to have the best experience, which then will cause them to do that, telephone effect. Like, damn, they did this and they did this and they did this. So bringing back to the point where it's like, I feel like had I been the person that I was at, and being in the state of mind that I was at when I was 21 and trying to say, hey, I want to do this myself, I was really
ready.
My ego wasn't ready for that, because I was just always just really like killer, just trying to be savage and just whatever a 21-year-old with money can do. You know what I mean? Like you're not in the right mindset. That's just too much money to be doing. To dealing with it at a certain time. So then I think about, okay, well, what about when I, first got into the call center industry, and I just completely was just like, yeah, you know what? At this point, I'm completely cutthroat, and I'll just go and I'll buy out every single freaking league around me. But again, what type of image is that portraying? You know what I mean? So I feel like all of those experiences come down to this point where it's like I'm able to field these offers for people that want to buy the league and say, no, that's not exactly what I want, and that's not what I need. And the legacy that I'm trying to build is that it's a legacy of a football league that can help you get into the league, train you, and that's one thing that me and Kyle see eye to eye 100%, is that when you come in, you're coming in with this football mindset of high school. You're trying to tackle someone, you're trying to do this. No, you have to rechange your mindset, your gears. You want to go into 5th gear, but guess what, bro? You got 30 yards to mess with. You know what I mean? So doing the whole entire thing where you're grooming it and you're not depending on these older teams, which there's nothing wrong with the older teams because they've definitely paved the way. Yeah. And Dirty Birds is like definitely like the team that I was introduced to first to see undefeated streak like that. But what did it take? They started a long time ago.
A lot of losses.
They had a lot. Exactly. They had a long time. So
take care of.
My main thing is,
I think that destroys the game too, though. Like when you have teams like that, I don't know if you guys ever paid attention to it, but Top Gun kind of did that. Like Tom used to like customize his league to like, well, you are my top dog, so whatever you need, I got you. You want to play that easy one first? I'll give you that easy one first, and then you're like sitting there, you're like, I can tell you how many teams I saw walk out of leagues because they knew there was so favoritism and stuff like that, that it's like, there's no point of coming out and playing. Why am I going to come out and play and give you my money when I know that that's who you favor, that's who you want to win? And there was a lot of that towards the end of that. In the beginning of the early stages of Top Gun, there wasn't, because there were so many dogs out there and everybody wanted to eat, so there was none of that. There was just, everybody knew who was good, but nobody really kind of threw their weight around. But I'd say these last maybe 5 years, dude. I'd say a lot of these top teams, they just want to throw their weight around and say I'm your league, and it's like, no, dude, you're just a team. You're not nobody's league. You're just a team. You're nice to say that you're playing in my league or playing in my tournament, but you're just another team, man. When you start to come in there and go, oh, if I'm not in your tournament, then your tournament ain't gonna be shit because I'm not there. And it's like, dude, there's other teams that want to play. It'd be nice if you guys want to come out, but I'm not gonna let you play for free. But everybody's like, I want a handout, I want a discount, I want it for free, or what do I get? And it's like, come on, man. I mean, I know you've been around, but I mean, you still gotta respect the fact that other people are playing. It's like if I come, it's like if I come in and tell you, hey, you're playing for free, I'm charging you 80, and you're like, what the fuck? Why is he paying 80 and I'm paying? How does that work? And it's like, there's no fairness to that. And I think that's why Tom fell. I think that's why if you look, some of the other leagues are struggling and they're having the issues. You know, I don't want to say any names, but in San Diego, one team, if you play in a league, you know that team's winning every season because you know that he owns it, and that's how that works. That's not fair. You know, that's what's ruining the game. Things like that have destroyed it. Which was good is everybody's dogs, everybody plays, we're all on the same level. Show me who's the best, and you win the damn thing. And that's what it matters. When you come in, you start busting the diva. Oh, I'm the best player. I'm like, dude, there's 100 other dudes right behind you that say the same thing. They're the best player in California, best player, period, yada, yada, yada. But it doesn't make you any different than anybody else. Just come out here and prove it. You prove it every time you go on the field. Every time you play, every time you lace up your cleats, you put on your gloves, you go out there, you catch a ball, you score a touchdown, you win a game. That's how you prove it. Not because you did something 10 years ago, something you did 5 years ago. I mean, things like that. I can guarantee you that's why Top Gun folded. 110%. Because at the end of the day, if you look at it, it was a lot of Tom in his mouth that ruined it too. But I think it was the fact was that when Tom started feeling desperate, and his wife used to run the league, and then when he started feeling desperate, he started giving people power that shouldn't have had power. And then another thing that he did was he started feeling like, oh, I don't want to lose Mark, please, $60 this year for the season, you're good, you guys show up, just play, I got you guys. And it's like, because he felt desperate. I mean, if you're gonna play, you're gonna play. It doesn't matter if I give you a discount or not. I mean, is there other leagues that you can go play in right now in Southern California? Oh, for sure. There are a dime a dozen. But are they doing it the right way? What's the motive of running their league? Are they running their league because they care about the players? Because they want to give you the best experience? Because they want to put it back into the league and make it look good and make everybody happy? Or are they underlining something else that's set up for them, that you're just a pawn in the setup for them? And you see the leagues and it's all set up for them. That's why when he came out and he reached out to me and he was like, hey man, I just want to pick your mind. Come sit down with me. I took my time. I went as many times he could ask me to go there every day. I go there every day and I'll sit down there and I'll talk to him. Because that's what it is. The biggest thing, I wanted to go back to the way it was, where you show up and you're happy to just play flag football and there's no underlining of anything else. Every league that I've ever played in, unless it was the golden ages of Top Gun, there was no underlining. But I mean, these last couple of years, there's always an underlining to something. Somebody's trying to get on top of somebody or do something or push somebody out of a location or like, oh, I'll give you a $500 discount, you only pay the ref fees, come on and play, so you can start pushing that league out. And so many people did that, and that's cool business. But I mean, at the end of the day, what did that get them? It's still, some of those leagues that did that, now they're folding because they took such a pay cut. They made no money.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah, they couldn't hold it up. And that's the same thing. That's how they got, Tom used to be the biggest dude here in San Diego. He was the king of San Diego. He was San Diego, Orange County, LA, and he was the king. What happened? He started pissing everybody off, and everybody pushed him out and started doing that backhanded stuff. Hey, Tom, get your team over here. I'll give you $200 discount. Fuck Tom. Fuck his league. Then you looked, he lost San Diego. He used to have the same locations that Mike has right now. He lost them all.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, Mike and him, he used to have everything. Mike used to be his top guy here, and then when Mike didn't like the things that were ran, him and the other group of guys that were with them, they pushed Tom out, and then that's what created this. And it's okay because now Mike's reaping what he sows, because now he's getting pushed out of here. But yeah, it always comes back. That's why the biggest thing I like about him and the way that he started this is that he's not in the business of pushing anybody out. He waited for his opportunity. When the opportunity came, he took it. It made sense. It's being successful. We're not trying to compete with anybody. We're competing with ourselves. That's it. We don't have to go out there. He doesn't have to go out there and and make it a big scene or make it something that it isn't. He's investing what he's investing into it and making it as successful as he can for what he wants to do. He's not looking at the back door like, oh man, who's behind me? Oh, I gotta keep running because these dudes are catching up. No, he's running his own race at his own pace, and that's the good stuff. We're doing our things differently than everybody else. He's gone out of his way to just change the game and allow everybody to just kind of do something different because it got so the same and so watered down.
Hype, man, dude.
No,
it's just introduce you everywhere.
It's crazy, man. Because I've played in the league for so long.
Yeah.
I'm 30 years old. I've been playing since I was 15 years old. You look at it, you're like you watched it from the top to the bottom. I remember sitting there learning how to play center from an old vet, dude. You think, dude, 10 times the size as me, had the sickest hips in the world. This guy would spin through anybody. You couldn't even stop him. And you're like, dude, you just got bulldozered by the bulldozer, dog. He's scoring touchdowns. You're like, how the hell do you do that? So that's what I want to see, but it turned into such a diva thing these last 5 years, I tell you. It turned into everybody being crybabies and pointing fingers and saying, well, I'm the big dog. I'm like, dude, tell the other 5 dudes on your team that you're the big dog. Well, we're all the big dogs now. And you're like, no, dude, it's still flag football. It's still about everybody coming out and playing the game. Show it this weekend. Not what you did 5 years ago. Today, what did you do today? Oh, you whined and cried today. Okay, no problem.
I love your passion, dude. You love this game. I tell you that much.
I remember when I first started playing, dude. I'd go out there before every game would start. My game could be at 1. I would be there at 9 watching every game. I knew everybody. I watched everybody because I love the game. You gotta love it to want to play it. Because at the end of the day, we're not playing it for a career. Where are we going with this? Nowhere. Yeah. We're just playing it because we enjoy playing it. So you kind of have to come. And like I love watching everybody, watching the ref the game, so you can kind of know what kind of calls they're calling that day. You know, you come in, you watch the players, you watch a couple teams that you might play next week. You get to see them now and see what they're doing. And that's the benefit of doing that. And then you enjoy watching it. It's nice. When you start losing that passion to not want to just enjoy the people that are around you, and you have to remember, we all have knowledge of the game that's beautiful that we can share with some of these younger teams that I love that he has that same passion about, which is, you know, the D4 teams, the D3 teams, the D2 teams. You want to spread that love and spread that knowledge so that they know, so then we can start moving those guys up and they can start competing with everybody. But you can't do that when, I know everything, but I'm not telling you my secret. And it's like, it gets you nowhere. So I'd rather come in there. There's days, dude, when it was Tom, even when it's Mark, when there's lower level teams that need a spare guy or something like that, I'll go in there and be like, hey, dude, like, you can't do that. This is how this works. Hey, let's play it this way. Let's do that. You have to spread that knowledge so the game can be as big. Like, I love watching your Mexico stuff. When you go over there and you watch how passionate everybody is about that, and look at how everybody loves playing the game.
They love it, dude.
They love playing the game. The women are crazy, dude. The dudes are crazy. You look at like how athletic you see the co-eds. Like I think in the years that I've played out here, I've never seen a co-ed team. I've maybe seen one, and that girl didn't even make it the whole season. But over there, you watch, man, the girls are tougher than the dudes.
100%.
You know, so it's like, that's what I'm talking about. You want to bring that kind of love here. You want to bring that where you see co-ed teams taking down some of the big dog teams. You're like, nah, homegirl over here got 1,300 yards receiving, dog. You can't even touch her. You know, so that's what you want to see. That's what makes the game exciting. But when you see all these copycat leagues doing the same thing, running the same thing, doing the same thing, talking the same way everybody used to talk about, it's a waste.
I was gonna say, obviously you already said it immediately, like your whole goal or your strategy is to make your product different. Like what are the things that you're doing differently from a tough league, from an X-Flag football, from a Top Gun, from a game time?
That's actually a really good question, because that was the biggest part of when we were first kind of like constructing this military thing. And I'll let it pass.
Wait, what time do you head out? Just to
chill.
Okay.
So, in my most successful season, I had a guy named Robbie Tagaloa that plays on Till Skills.
Okay.
Him and his brother had this really sick offense, which literally carried the team the whole entire time, to be honest. It was literally just Robbie to Bubba all day. But the way that they played, it was like he was a running quarterback, because they did a lot of quick pitch stuff. So it was really exciting to watch. Even on the sideline, being on the team was just like, damn, well, I can't wait to see what else they're gonna do.
Yeah.
So that was the fun part, because the teams that we were playing, they were completely thrown off. We're just like, shit, like they're way too fast, like hurry up offense. Because there's a hurry up offense, and then there was their offense.
Yeah.
And their offense was twice as fast as what a hurry up offense is. So once I started kind of thinking about like how is it that I can make myself completely different, and that's the first thing that came up to my mind was like, cool, like I want to have a running quarterback like Robbie, even though Robbie never ran, but it was like with him getting the pitch that fast, it was like having a running quarterback. So that was the biggest thing that we did, is like go outside of what everyone else is doing and said, fine, we can have a live quarterback run up to half the field to one, help out the newer teams that don't have a quarterback that's structured, because then he'll get so stuck with his footwork, taking 7 seconds to get rid of the ball or get sacked. So then we kind of level the playing field where it's like, cool, now you can at least get to half the field. That kind of helps your, your confidence a little bit.
5-man, 4-man, 6-man?
5-man.
Okay, 5-man.
Yeah. So we stick to the 5-man format. We added the quarterback's the ability to run for half the field. And then we're like, okay, fine. Well, now we gave the offense some love. We got to give the defense some love. And one of the biggest things that I always get annoyed with is like anytime that they would get a pick on a PAT, they would just not even run it. They'll just wait till they get their flag pulled, or they just they just knee it down. So what we did is we increased the value of that to 3 points if you run back a PAT, because then it makes a difference. That's a game changer right there.
I like that.
That's a 1 point difference.
That's simple, but I like that.
Exactly. So now we have guys that are actually running back the ball, actually excited
they
to
want
get
those
the
3
pick.
points.
Exactly. So now, and it's made a big difference in our last championship game where they did end up taking it.
Really?
Yeah, they ended up taking it to the house, and that was the big difference where now they had that 1 extra point lead on some of these games. So in introducing those two big parts, those are the big two game changers. All the quarterbacks that complained about it, all of them. Now they can never say anything, because guess what? On those times where they got a really sick ass double rush or triple rush, and they were able to bounce it to the sideline and still get that first down, all of a sudden, they got that going.
The strategy a lot.
And then also with the PAT, we gave them the option to be able to, the quarterback can run it in for 1 point, or you could just throw it for the 2. So it still kind of mixes things up. Some defenses say, well, whatever, we'll just let them in. But that's fine, because you're just going to get the ball with more time. So it kind of evens out where it's not just more lopsided to the one side to the other. So those are the biggest changes that we did in the game itself. Now, presentation-wise of the game.
That's what I was going to ask.
So presentation-wise of the game is, to sum it up in one word, is like uniformity. So we want everyone to look like they're on a team. So
I like that what Tough did with that, dude. Like it was I couldn't see a league doing that, because I was used to the X Flag or any other league where you throw on the same color T-shirt, similar color T-shirt, maybe you're fine. But when Tough was like strict on enforcing that, I was like, all right, kudos to you guys. Like, you laid down those ground rules and it worked. I mean, it made money as far as jersey orders, and it makes it look more professional.
Exactly.
Like better work.
So that was the biggest thing that I went into it, was when I first started playing it with Tom is, my team, my first team with my coworker, they would just tell me wear a white shirt and
Put the tuck tape in the back.
The next season I went out and made my own jerseys, and I was like, I'm just gonna make my own jerseys this time. That's fine. Then some teams were like, hey, where'd you get those jerseys? And I'm like, I make them, and let me know if you want. Try to talk to Tom about it. Tom just blew it off, because he's like, I can do it myself. All right, cool. So then from the get-go, that was like a big thing. It's like making the game exciting, and then making the game look appealing, which is all the same color, all the same format, the font, everything, because the way that we were going to be able to record the games, we introduced the drone, which we have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have a drone with about 8 batteries.
That's
so
awesome.
We literally can keep going the whole entire time. So that brings in a really cool look where you got,
that's huge,
all blue jerseys, all pink jerseys, and just to be able to capture some of this action stuff.
Do you guys have that out every week, or how does that work?
Every week.
Oh, that's cool, dude.
Yeah. This season we're gonna probably tailor back on it a little bit, because we're focusing more on the roughing this season. Just to ensure that we can kind of get caught up on that part, because I think officiating is everyone's biggest heat.
No matter what league, organization, reffing's always the biggest thing. It's just a standard
Exactly. So
standard complaint.
We first started off with having three officials on the field, and that was another change that we were going to do to make things a little bit different. Two play referees, and then one person that was going to be in charge of stats. Quickly we found out that third person was just a waste of time and space, because one, stats were inaccurate, stats were not, like when I was getting some stats turned in.
Even with jerseys on, and the player has the same jersey.
It wasn't even the jersey. It wasn't even the problem of saying, okay, cool, number 5 got this thing. It was the fact that for some reason I was getting some stats turned in that a quarterback threw for 175 yards, but there were 6 touchdowns. You could do the math.
Yeah.
60 yards.
Yeah.
6 touchdowns, 175 yards, with four interceptions, but yet he threw for 90% completion.
So it's just wrong stats.
Yeah.
Wrong stats.
So I feel like, you know, the excuses of like, oh well, you know what, I'm trying to keep up with everything, but I'm like, that's the only job that you
So
have.
you're not doing stats at this point?
No, we're doing stats. It's just what we're doing now is
You almost have to watch tape if you
Yeah,
want.
I know,
like,
right?
If you want.
Well, what we did is we shrunk it down, because one thing I can tell you right now is that there's no way that you can have an accuracy in yardage.
No,
There's just no way.
Yeah,
So it
it's
doesn't really make
fast.
sense to put too much emphasis on that, even though that was part of our thing, is like having 1,000-yard receivers, having 4,000-yard passers. But in all reality, there's just no way that, you know, you can say, even when I look at that, like the tough stats, Jason from whatever team he ends up playing on, he's only throwing for 2,500 yards, but in Top Gun he was averaging 4,000 yards a freaking season. Like, no way, it doesn't make sense. So I decided to take that part out of the stats part and just focus on touchdowns, PATs, and for offense, and then for defense, just all the defensive stats that you can keep track of really easily. Interceptions, return interceptions, sacks, safeties, just the main bulk of what it is, because at that point that is 100% accurate. If a quarterback throws for 6 touchdowns, there's either 6 receivers or somebody that's putting up a sick ass game. So we're gonna emphasize on the stats being more tailored towards just results more than just guesstimating on that. Because we could always say 5, 7, 10, 11 yards on a pass, but unless you're really walking it down and we have like a full-blown electric system, there's just no way of having. So that'll speed up the game. So there's nothing that's gonna be slowing it down, and we're able to fit it into like an actual, like, you know, 3x4.
And then when the refs is doing this?
I'm sorry?
When the refs are taking the stats?
Yeah. And then again, it's end result. So if you get a touchdown, great. Okay, what number is it? And we have numbers in the front and the back. So the uniform was a really big thing. And I knew that going into the Top Gun area, everyone was gonna have something to say about it. You know, oh, I don't like this color, I don't like this, whatever. So I came out with, like, you know, all sorts of different colors.
Does everyone have to go through you for the uniform, or they can bring their own?
I've been a little lenient with them being able to go through Elite, because Elite does do them correctly, so I'm fine with how they do them. But as the seasons go on, I'm gonna start kind of like making it a little bit more stricter. That you have to kind of have it come through us. But I knew that there was going to be an adjustment period to get these teams to like be okay with, one, getting uniforms, putting these uniforms on, because we also do the fluff and fold. So we get it, we get them washed, and then every week you're coming out, here's fresh set of jerseys, fresh jerseys.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh nice.
So now that everyone's kind of gotten accustomed to it, and then they got to see some of the jerseys that we were making, people started ordering them. Right off the bat, and it's just, you create that culture. You show them what they like, because they don't really know what they like or not, because they're so used to just being able to show up with anything. And that's one thing that I can honestly say that Tough did well, is like they were able to set the standard with that when it came to that. But for us, is just, I mean, we're not gonna really, like, we're not trying to make a shit ton of money on the jerseys anyways.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Like, have you got any complaint?
Is there any revenue from that?
There's like minimal revenue, but it kind of goes to the graphic designer artist, to be honest. Like,
and
that's
goes back into the league.
Exactly. So it's not really like, and that's the main thing, is like, that's not what that's not gonna ever be a focus of like, this is exactly what's gonna, you know, give us that little bit of extra profit. Because in all reality, I'm selling it at a price that's affordable for them, so not have an excuse.
Build the culture.
Exactly. And then later on, be able to incorporate into packages where if you sign up for the season, you know, you can add in your jerseys for X amount of cost to be able to, you know, have a fresh set of jerseys every single season that you're gonna be able to come out. Without it.
2 seasons in? 3 seasons in?
No, this is gonna be our 3rd season.
This is for you're in charge of LA or
Orange County.
Orange County.
Yeah.
And so is it like a franchise where somebody else owns the?
No. The way that we're gonna be expanding is just, we're gonna kind of expand in the areas that, you know, that we're pretty close to. But again, I want to make sure that we dial everything into the Orange County one, and then once we kind of already have the Tustin one pretty much locked in with, this is how this is going to start. We're going to have this person in place for this. So we're still trying to build teams to be able to take over, so that obviously I'm not having to. It is. That's honestly the most grueling part of this whole entire process, to be able to find somebody that can carry on what I'm trying to do.
So who's in charge of? So you're the owner of Tough Period.
No, I'm not Tough.
Undisputed.
Yeah.
Undisputed. My bad. Okay.
No worries. So basically we're focusing on just Orange County right now, and then as we decide to expand, it's just we have to make sure that we have the right people.
No, absolutely. There's no reason to rush. I mean, you don't want to.
Because you look at all the leagues that have grown so fast, and you're like looking at them like you went from one location to like 7. How the hell did you get 7 so fast? And you're like, you can't honestly tell me that the product has gotten better because you've expanded so much. There's no way. I mean, anybody that's like even on Top Gun's best day, and how big he was area wise. Even if you look at all the fields he had in San Diego, they were all close to each other.
Yeah.
If we look at all the areas he had in Orange County, they were all close to each other. So in reality, he really never expanded too far away from any location that he already had. He just knew that he jam-packed one. So he's like, I need to get one a little bit further down so then I can start pushing my teams that way. Because I remember when he was hitting, like, I think it was like almost 45, maybe 50 teams in Tustin, he started saying, hey, at 45, we need to start sending them to Garden Grove.
Yeah.
Start telling them Sunday mornings in Garden Grove, that's all we have. We need to start turning people away. And that was at his highest when he was turning people away. Yeah. So you really, at the end of the day, you want to have somewhere close that he could send. Teams. Yeah, but I mean, he did it. I mean, it was his Tustin location was probably the only thing that kept him afloat for like years because everybody wanted to play in turf because turf is like the biggest thing in the world nowadays, and everybody wants to play where it's full of people.
Yeah.
Tustin was the best.
For sure.
Garden Grove, like, I mean, his other locations, he was probably doing maybe like 12 teams each location. But on some other ones, like his Garden Grove in the summer would drop down to like 10 teams, but then it would pick up after summer. And after the NFL season, maybe that, and then around there, they'd put up about maybe 20 teams. But I mean, it's just, you can't tell me that you've grown, like you look at Tough.
Yeah.
Tough's grown so much, and they've grown nationwide. And I get what they're doing. I do. It's like it's a business module. They're putting it together. They're trying to kind of show that they can do region like AFFL. They're trying to do regions, which is cool. But I mean, I care about California. I don't care about what you're doing in somewhere else. I care about what you're doing here. At the end of the day, the product it's a watered down version. You can't tell me by doing so many leagues that it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get the teams to come out like they have. They've gotten all the so what talent that is out there to come out. But you can't tell me that you watch some of these matches that I've saw, like some of their playoff games that they stream, and I'm like looking at it, I'm like, how is this a competitive game? How is this a good game? Like, how does this make sense? And it's like, and you look, it's because they thought one division, Titan and Spartan. They said, this is all we're doing, 2 divisions. So what happens for the team that's like not as good as a Titan or as a Spartan? Where does he play at? Oh, so he's the team that gets run through. Because I did do my time, I did do a season in Tough a little bit, and I went there a couple games, and then I just flaked out because it was just a waste.
Who did you play with?
Vipers and Downey.
Okay.
So that team, we were playing, talented fucking guys. Like some of these older talented guys that have been around for a while, and these are brand new low-level guys, and you're looking and you're like, getting blown out 68-8, and you're like, how is that a competitive game?
Yeah.
How do you tell me that this team, and that's why the first game that I went out there, I got into it with them because I'm like, dude, look at this team, like look how you're scheduling that. Like, these guys have never played flag football. You see the guy try to tackle the other guy because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And you're telling me that you're going to put him up against your veteran team and let them blow them out 68-0, and you're going to tell me that that's a game that they want to play in? I would never come back to that league if that's what that was.
That's hard as an owner, dude. Like, I imagine, like, trying to figure out, like, setups or, like, divisions. Like, what do you do? 2 divisions? Do you do 1 division, 5 divisions? Like, you can't really satisfy everyone.
You have to kind of, like, perfect example, Top Gun. Top Gun, level-wise, had some issues like everybody else, but they always ran 4 divisions, right? And even sometimes they would say, so I would have, like, my 3 and 4 kind of play each other so they can kind of see how good they are against each other, and then my 3 and 2, and then my 2 play my 1s and see if they can move up, if they can be good enough, where are your levels at, and start moving people around.
Yeah.
But you can't do that when you just tell everybody 2 divisions and you just sit there and get your ass beat 68-0 until you figure it out. I mean, that's not fun. I mean, that's a dying product in my mind. If you're gonna tell me that you're just gonna sit there and let teams get rid. Next weekend I come out 78-8. I was like, I'm done, dude. I was like, that's a waste. And I'm like telling them, you're gonna tell me that was the second, like, we can't get somebody that's the same level as us? Oh yeah, they're the same level as you guys. That's horrible scheduling if that's what you think. And Tom went through those struggles too towards the end when he started putting stupid people in charge that didn't know shit about flag football and didn't know shit about running a league, that he started just letting people schedule it the way they thought it was. And I remember, like, towards maybe the last 2 seasons that he had out in Tustin, he put a guy in charge and he was screwing the pooch, and Tom goes, hey man, can you come in and help me out with the scheduling deal? Because this dude doesn't know what he's doing. Because Tom used to have Frank. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him, but Frank used to be the guy in charge until he got sick and he couldn't do it anymore. And then he started bringing in random people, and that's when it started to kind of screw the pooch. Because Frank used to go out there and watch the games. You'll never know how good a team is or what they got until you actually go out there and watch them. You have to go see and go, okay, that's not a D4 team. That's a D2 team. We got to move those fuckers up because they're going to burn through that D4 division. Then I'm going to have a bunch of teams want to leave.
Yeah.
And that's what people weren't doing. They were just letting people play. And letting people play, you start seeing massacres. And you're like, that's no way to teach somebody the game. That's no way to build up a league. That's no way to do none of that. And the perfect example, X-Flag. You watch that. Mike wins every season, right? When's the last time you guys heard that Zimmerman ever lost his league? Please tell me that. It's been a little bit. It's been a while, right? He won his first. He did a first cash tourney, right? He just did that. Who won that shit? He won it, right? How does that?
So do you play in the league?
No,
that's a good question.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is I don't want to end up playing in my own league just because I don't want it to be a situation where it's like, favoritism.
It's always a conflict of interest.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
Yeah. So then what we did last season is because we had a couple teams that flaked out because of like the weather. So a lot of teams that didn't want to play in the rain and whatnot.
Yeah. So you kind of hopped in.
We just we would put like a staff team together just to give them a stats game.
Yeah.
And that's as far as it would go.
I like that. I respect that.
Yeah. Just because again we don't want it to get into the point where it's like at that point all the players are going to want to, okay, let's play with the owner. It's just like, well, that's not exactly what we want to do. We want to make sure that it's an even playing field for everyone.
You just stack up a team. You stack up a team from your own league and take it to a different league. That's what you should do. That's I got my team. I'm going to take them over there to play it tough and whatever, dude. I'm not going to play in my own league because that's a waste.
Sorry, give me 1 second.
Yeah. So it's just it's crazy, but you see that Tom never played in his own league. I think Tom played 1 year in his own league when he was younger, and that was it. And that was it. That's the only time I ever saw him out there. But he would only show up for the tournaments to give out the trophies and shake hands with the teams that won it. He never really played in his league. His sons used to play in the smaller divisions in Westminster, which nobody ever knew about, and all the shitty teams played out there. So they were playing in their element. That's where his sons used to play. So in reality, Tom never even broke that rule either.
Yeah.
Mike was the only one that thought it was cool to play in his own league and murder everybody and then act like he's the best player. But why don't you go playing tough? Playing tough and tell me if you can win out there. Shit, I invited him to come to Undisputed and play when they had the tournament. Oh, I don't think I can get my guys out there. Let me see. I knew he was gonna tell me that, but that's really what it is. Bring a team somewhere else. Play there. And don't tell me that you won 9 counties. I love it when he puts a 10 on his shorts. I won 10 counties in a row, and I'm like, Mike, come on, dude. That's Tom in another way. That's Tom in another way. But
I love everything you guys said. Both of you guys seem passionate about it. It seems like you know exactly what you're doing, and you have your mindset on. How can I help you? I guess. And what are you even looking for?
Yeah.
And he kind of gave me a rundown, but I just want to hear from you.
Yeah. So realistically, like I said, the biggest thing right now is just trying to build the brands. And collaborate with other brands around us that are kind of in that same picture, you know what I mean? So again, I could easily try to pick up, other sponsors, but if they're not going to really have any participation in it or any other type of influence to be able to bring more exposure, it doesn't really make any sense, and it doesn't make any sense to bring them on board. So to add on to the looks of things, we obviously introduced the jerseys first. The second thing that we're doing is now we're introducing the custom shorts with their number on it, the team name, everything.
That's cool.
To have a different look. But one thing that I was kind of messing around with was the flags. So the flags alone, the ones that he's had, has always gotten me interested. I'm like, damn, dude, those look dope. Those look dope. But because it's just eye appealing. Because at the end of the day, customization is what everyone wants. But the biggest problem is, again, getting people to get accustomed to, hey, let's purchase some flags, make an investment in it. Because again, the wear and tear of things, and I'm dealing with it right now where I'm buying 4 sets of flags every season. Because I remember hating it that when I was playing with in Top Gun that I'm running and my flags would fall off.
That weak suction.
Exactly. So what happened was my other partner had found on a website some lady that does some interesting mushroom. The mushroom cap. So they actually have much more of a force to pull out. So they actually last longer.
They're killing it.
Those those? Can you use those in tournaments? I thought those are like banned from tournaments.
I think so.
It depends on the league.
Yeah, it depends on the league. I know that if you try to go to the world tournaments, they don't allow those at all. So it's just more for the league base of it, because even though it has that tight suction, after a season, it's gonna start loosening up a little bit. But it's just the construction of it. It makes sense for a league to have it long term than to keep going through the flag attack ones.
Well, the thing is that we found a way. So we used 2 different plastics, same design, but the male one is a different type of rubber or polyurethane than the female.
Was that the one that you mailed me? Is that the new ones?
Those different ones.
Yeah, those are nice. I like those.
So what happens is that the female one is a little bit of a different type of polyurethane. So that's what loosens it up, right? That's what keeps it loose. And the male one is a little stronger. So it's not really going to bend.
Yeah.
So it'll never get loose. It'll always stay nice and white because it's stronger urethane. So the other one's a little more flexible, but it's the plastic that it's made out of is what makes it stick for a longer time. Plus, it's like kind of heat tested. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like they'll use that type of plastic for other things too.
Okay. Well, that's definitely good to know.
What we want to do is eventually get color, like throw some color into these.
Yeah.
Which obviously it's gonna increase cost a little bit or whatever, but that's like down the road.
Did Kicha sell? I swear I saw a girl wearing those like prototype ones down in tournaments a couple weeks ago.
Did she?
I swear. The red, sparkly ones.
Really?
Yeah. I couldn't make it up.
Because he already quoted me because I changed the design a little bit. I wish I would have brought my booklet. It's in my car, but I changed the design. But that's down the road. He's like, yeah, man, it's gonna be a lot of money to like make it with like gridiron flags, or will we be able to stamp Undisputed on the suction cups? So almost like private label shit. You know when you order from China
and everything. Yeah.
Exactly. So he already quoted me on that. It's a little too expensive right now. Obviously, it's like a down the road type of deal. Like if we could raise the funds for it.
He's the idea man. He's all that. I'm like the straight on the ground like salesperson.
Yeah.
He does the big things.
I mean, this guy introduced me to all these cats. So I mean, by all means, this guy's the main adhesive there and stuff. So, but yeah, man. I mean.
There's always a guy behind the scenes, you know. You wonder who that guy is. You're like, now we know who that guy is.
But customization, I mean, I think, I'm sorry to cut you off, but yeah, that's what we want to do too. Is just get a plain and simple better product.
Yeah.
You know, and then that way they just change the flags.
Yeah.
So they don't feel like they're taking advantage of like, oh, you gotta buy a set, you can buy flags because you can trust that it's going to last.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
And then just rotate flags.
Well, that's the thing. If you look at so before I bought your guys' flag, I had bought one from I think it was like Custom Flags on Instagram or something like that. So they don't let you customize it. It's just a generic, like they put out like Fortnite or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So you don't get a customization type of it, but I mean they sell their plugs and their belts and everything, like plug to the belt to the flag, all individual. You can't buy it all together. So it was, by the time you look at it, it became really, really costly. And since they're like a small and they charge you for shipping, their shipping was like a ridiculous amount too. So I was like sitting there, I was like, oh man. And then when he told me how much it was, I was like, yeah, man. I wasn't even willing to come drive down here and pick him up from you. I was waiting for you to tell me, hey, you want to meet me halfway? I'm like, sure, dude, I'll meet you halfway. I mean, but then when I got him, I was like, I looked at him, I was like, all right, this is cool. And that's why I talked to him. I said, damn, man, hey, these are actually not a bad deal for what it is. And I think everybody would like it. And I said, fuck, for me, the biggest thing I hate being as a big boy is it's like you're constantly, when that flag's fucking falling, I have to fucking bend over. I already have to bend over to get the damn ball. Now my fat ass has to bend over to get these cheap flags that keep falling out. I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I was like, when I first pulled it, when I put it in and I pulled it, I was like, all right, this could probably last a little bit longer. Because I remember even when they would get the new belts, it still didn't have that same pop from your guys as that the new belts get when you even buy the set of belts. You're like, all right, this is nice. So I think, what you guys are doing product-wise, it's nice. I like it. I think and that's why I talked to him, and I was like, and I reached out to you guys right away after I talked to him, and I was like, hey, dude, this is a good deal. If we can make it work. And like you said, I'm so surprised that nobody has even thought about like reaching out to you or even doing that with you, or you guys haven't even thought about it or done it. Because I think at the end of the day, you guys are selling something that everybody wants. but maybe not everybody. Some of the new people don't know you, and some of the people that we have that are new that are be like, oh shit, I can get this from these dudes, and then that creates a new avenue for you guys that you don't have. And I think that's at the end of the day what any business partnership is. What you want to do is open a door that you haven't opened or you're not doing right now. You know, and I think his ideas, like when I see your videos in Mexico and I watch what his ideas are, and I'm like, look at how popular it is in Mexico, and look what he's doing here. Eventually, he'll get to there, because that's the same thing that he's trying to do. I see the girls over there with the custom booty shorts and the custom tops, and you're like, that's nice. So that's kind of where his vision is. That's down there that I see when you post your videos, and I'm like, he's going in the right direction. So eventually, that vision will follow here. That I see down there with you guys.
I agree. With
yeah. So it's a process of, we're not. I think when you see some of these other leagues, they like to limit everybody's individuality. It's kind of like, oh, you're the Gators, and it's like, here's your jersey for the Gators. You're the Gators. You're the franchise of the Gators. You're like, what if I don't want to be the Gators? What if I want to be Chubby Chaser or whatever it is, your old team, dog?
That didn't fly well with Tough.
That didn't fly. You see what I'm saying? But you want to be that guy. That's your team, man. I mean, that's the cool thing about when you come out there on the weekends and you see dudes walking around with these skinny girl shorts and shit, and they got the jerseys on, and it's like, damn, that's a cool ass name. You start laughing. That's the good part about it. When you start like limiting people and taking away their creativity, it's not good, man.
It's hard because I understand it, because like you try and be professional, so as a business, like you want to have but you don't want anything inappropriate. So I get it.
But I mean, come on, if you're on TV and you watched you roll out, like I seen you with your American flags on and your jerseys on, you're like, damn, that's a team, right? That's my team. I'm following that guy on Instagram right there because I know he's got some good shit to sell.
So maybe I'm trying to think what's the, I guess, where do we go from here? Like, what's the next step?
Well, I think the first things first is just one, I need flags for the league. So I don't know if it's something that we can kind of collaborate on, and just doing something like that. Because obviously, for the league itself, I only need 8 sets of flags.
Okay.
I need to buy about 25 flags right now that already went bad from last season.
8 sets of flags? You mean like?
Yeah, just 8 sets of flags that are just the league ones. That
so like
I
5
carry.
different designs? Or?
No. So it'll be well, essentially this is like
probably
driving over here. Yeah, driving over here, I was like, okay, this is what I'm kind of thinking is I need 8 sets that the league will always own.
The 8 sets, so 8 times.
Because I have 4 fields.
How many per set?
10.
Oh yeah, 10. So it's about basically 40.
8.
So yeah. So 8 and each set is 10. Right?
Yeah.
So it's 80.
No.
80.
Yeah, it is 80. Because it's 10,
Right?
10, 10.
Each field is 20.
Each field is
Okay.
10,
Yeah.
Each team has 10.
Yeah, so it's 80.
So yeah, so basically I need 80.
Yeah, field. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I need 80 flags, but the main thing is that's just to be able to introduce it. The main thing, the next thing that I want to do is start trying to push it out where it's like, hey, look they're gonna see his flags that are custom. I want to get some other ones that are custom that are kind of like our brand ambassadors and stuff to kind of get the word out there. Because then at some point I just want everyone to bring their own flags, and then if they're switching teams, they could just order another print. Be like, oh, now I switch over to this guy's.
Yeah. So what do you say? Like flag would be part of the uniform, or
Correct,
ideally down the road,
Yeah.
like hopefully.
So ideally by next year, I want it to be where the packages you're signing up, you get your league fees done, your jerseys, your shorts, and then your flags. So it's like one full blown thing. And then the other thing that I'm trying to introduce, but I'm just trying to figure out like whether it really would make sense is getting our own cleats made. That's the thing. Is there's a lot of cleat companies that do customizing to it too, and the bulk order that I can place will definitely help out, and trying to justify the expense of it. But if you can literally get it to the point where you're literally from head to toe, where people end up, getting jobs, and that's the things that we slowly introduced all these things with our brand ambassador guys that, they have the look, they have the team, they're able to give us that exposure because then people start to ask,
That's smart.
How do I get
That's
that? So, we're going to be introducing the jumpsuits, the shorts, the flags, the jumpsuits, and then we want to do the gloves and the cleats.
Do you do your own printing, or do you have like a?
Originally, I did my own printing.
Okay.
But it was getting really, really time consuming more than anything.
He lost more hair in that time frame. He used to have hair like you, man, and then he started doing his own shit. He's like, God, what the hell's going on?
So for your sanity, you're like, I'd rather just outsource this.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, this isn't my only business. So there is obviously other things that kind of tie up my time.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that those other businesses don't require me to be there on an every week basis.
Yeah.
It's like I started going, and he knows, like, just by my messages and my posts, all my shit happens in the middle of the night because, okay, I got 2 kids, you know, that I have to tend to, and then I have, you know, these other, as I call them, my other kids, that end up needing my attention too. So I'll literally go when the season's about to start, about 3 days.
Or what?
Seriously, yeah. So basically, I go about maybe 3-4 days without sleep when the season's going, because it's all the responsibility has fallen on my lap. Where it's like the stats, figuring out the stats, trying to make sense of the stats, the scheduling, the and figuring out, like, while this season's already done, I'm already working on the next 2 seasons. I'm already working on the next location. I'm already working on everything else. But my time gets consumed with having to worry about these jerseys and these jerseys that need to be made and everything else. So then once it was like, okay, I can't really get help to get these things done in a timely manner, then I was like, you know what, I have to find somebody else that can partner up with, that can get these things out really quick for me, good pricing, and then just, call it a day.
Makes sense.
So focus on everything else. So yeah, initially I did start with everything myself, but now I'm like looking for people that, that can do what I'm asking them to do. Without it really having to change their culture. You know what I mean? I can't ask a company to say, hey, look, I know you guys are doing this, but can you guys just now incorporate this thing into this? It's like people that are already doing it, I'm bringing them on. So it's like, this guy's already doing, 500 plus jerseys a week.
That's crazy.
So it's like, I might as well just, add my part in there. And then the cleats thing, the guy does custom ones like all the time. And I have 2-3 guys that I'm talking to with the custom cleats and things, and it's just cool. I'm gonna get him a bunch of blanks, and he's just gonna go,
That's awesome.
crazy.
I like that.
App crazy on it. So
decked out.
exactly. So that's just kind of exactly where I feel like you guys can kind of come into the picture. You guys can be a part of that part, but also it's the promotional side of it. The awareness that it can be brought by you posting something, us posting that, hey, we're working something out with you guys now, and now this is what's now available. Yeah, that's bigger for me than it is to just say, cool, like I can just order 1,000 flags, and as they come, they just come out. I'd rather have somebody behind it in that sense. So the next sponsorship that we're working on right now that we've already been doing is we're introducing a pre-workout bar at the field. Nice. Because at the field, no one's allowed to bring any of their liquids aside from water. And that's turf. Always been, because it's turf. And that's always been an issue all the time. It's just, I need to take my pre-workout, Okay, fine. Well, luckily, one of our brand ambassadors, AJ, he it so happened one of his best friends owns a supplement company, Notorious Labs. So he's just like, hey, I talked to him about it.
He's just as popular as you are, bro. But he's on the gym side. He's on the gym side as popular. Like, you see it. I watch his Instagram, bro, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like, fuck, this guy's hilarious. And he posts like the craziest shit.
He's like the biggest character like I've ever met in my life, dude. He's super dope. And then I brought him in. I said, hey, look, let's talk about this. Let's figure this thing out. Let's put you on the map as like you are the pre-workout of Undisputed. And let's move forward with that with the pre-workout bar. And he was all for it. He's just like, yeah, dude, like I'm totally down. That's a shit ton of exposure of up to 400 people that are going to be seeing this thing every season tournament.
Oh yeah.
And that's awesome, that's what we're going to be.
I don't hear anyone taking this route. I mean, props to you.
And again, that's the main thing, is that I want to do things where they make sense for the players. It's not, I don't need to push anything else onto them that they already don't need or they don't know about. Yeah. It's just cool. You're wearing a jersey, now you're gonna wear a cool jersey. Yeah. You need some flags, we're gonna get you some custom flags. Okay, you need pre-workout, don't take it out to the fucking field. Take the pre-workout at the bar and then call it a day. So introducing those brands, and he's a football player, he's a baller, and it just makes sense to be able to work something out with him, work something out with you guys.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, exactly. Working something out with my jersey person, and at that point it fields all the areas that people need.
You want to feed the people around you, if that makes sense. That's really what it is.
It is.
You want to bring in the people that are doing what you want to do at the level that you want to do it in and be successful at it. Yeah. If you look at a lot, and that's why a lot of the other leagues, they won't be as successful, because the reality is they're building their product for themselves and not building it to bring in the people that's kind of sculpted what it is now. I mean, if you look at flag football, what it was years ago and what it is now, it's all about entertainment. It's all about who you know. And it's all about, hey, do I trust what he says? Do I trust what he says? What do you say? I've known you for years. I've seen you out there. I believe what you said. Just like I was telling you about the podcast that they did. I watch yours because I'm like, that is exactly how I thought it. Not what I think it could be. It's exactly what it was. So it's like, that's what you want. You want to bring in people like you and that have a plan, that know what they want to do, that's popular, and then that can partner up with to do something successful that everybody's coming on top with and winning. You know, instead of having a way where I'm the one that's winning, you're kind of winning, but I'm winning, and who cares about how you feel?
Yeah. And
that's how everybody did it before, and that's not how he wants to do it. And that's why I really partnered up with him, dude, because it's awesome. Like, his mentality on thinking it's not about a screw you system, it's about I want to build something with longevity. You know, and at the end of the day, longevity is what's going to keep the leagues going. At the end of the day, being popular, being to everybody, because I don't know how many leagues you guys have ever played in, but you guys have probably heard the same story. I built the league for the players. I built the league for the players as they're playing in it and screwing other players. That's not how it works. You build a league for the players. You don't play in it. You sit outside. You bring stuff for them that's gonna make sense. That's, hey, I want cleats. I want this. I want that. I can get all this all at once. Great, dude. I can buy it. I can afford it. My team can afford it. You know, there's teams out there that all can afford it. If they're gonna look good and the product is good, they'll buy it. If it's shitty, it'll be the first thing you ever do. I mean, it's crazy, but flag football, they're either black or white. There's no in between. It's either we love this shit and we all use it, or we fucking hate that shit and I'll never use that again. So, you know.
And surprisingly, I've actually ran into a team that specifically has said, you know, I think you guys do a little bit too much. We really don't. We're good with playing on your guys. We're going to play in a different league, which is really surprising that it's a team that I actually know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's my barber's friend, and I've been pushing him to come out since the first tournament, the season, everything else. And I'm like, dude, you guys always have a team. You guys are always playing on Sundays. But, like, they practice. They actually set up full-blown practices for themselves to get ready for the season. And he's just like, you know what? And just to kind of add into the part where it's like some people just don't like it. That's the first team I've ever heard of where it's like, man, you're just doing too much. Like,
you're doing too much.
Yeah. Like, he's like, I don't want to be on the drone. I don't want photos, man. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like the jerseys, like we're cool with the ones that we have, and just everything that I've ever thought of. He's just like, no, it's just
not
too much.
for us.
It's just too much. And I kept thinking too much. I was like, you're saying that the cost is too much. And he's like, no, you're doing too many things. And I'm like, that is the first time I've ever heard that.
That's crazy.
Like, I'm so glad it came from a dude, because like, I'm
sounded like a chick, right? That's what you never take me to dinner. I never get no flight. Dude, hey, now you're doing too much. You want too much from me. I don't want that.
Because when I first started the Instagram, I was so surprised with just the emblem alone. I got hit up by more girls asking about a league than guys.
Did you really?
Yeah. So literally for the first 4 months, my business profile was literally 50-50. 50% women, 50% men.
Really?
Yeah. And so then once we were just trying to figure out, like, you know, okay, can we fit in the girl league right now this second? Then we couldn't really, like, we couldn't pull the trigger, because the thing is, I wasn't going to half-ass it. I wasn't just going to give them like a small time slot. It's like, if we're going to do it, we have to give them the full array of things.
Yeah, interesting.
So I was like, you know what? Let's just make sure that we can create the product on the guy side first, and then we can introduce the girls, because then the girls are the ones that are asking, hey, you know, your jerseys look really cool. Like, are you guys going to be doing that for the girls? Are we going to get this? Are we going to get this? Are we going to get that?
Crazy.
And it's like, well, yeah, absolutely. That's the whole entire point.
Yeah.
Even before they were asking, that's always been my thing. It's like, if we're going to do something for them, we got to do it for them. Like, it can't be... It can't be
girls
a
are
lower
more
product.
beast than dudes anyways. I think girls, they're way more beast than dudes. When you see a girl catch a ball, it's so much more cooler. You're like, fuck yeah. When I catch it, they're like, oh, you caught another one. Nobody cares about that. But, I mean, that's awesome, dude.
So leaving here, I mean, obviously me and him will talk, but leaving here was the first thing that you would expect from me, or want from me, or would hope from me, I guess. A design of a flag, an actual flag, an order.
We like to, I think, like, having them out there and come out and like.
Yeah, I like that idea that he said, like, you know, we can set up, like, if you guys want to, you know, set up like a booth area and everything, because we have a lot of area that you can set up at.
That sounds awesome.
Just to be able to, you know, start that exposure. And I know that you do the podcast and everything else, and, you know, we got power cords everywhere, so literally if you wanted to just set up like an actual like live feed and everything else like that, we can do that. But I mean, I think there's so many different areas that there's a starting point. It's not just say, hey, let's just go ahead and do this. It's like, my needs right now is I need 25 flags that I need to replace, and I need
just single flags, right? 25.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. And then on top of that, I just would like to at least get one custom set of flags, aside from the one that because he has his individual one. Yeah. But I need one full-blown team one. And then
because that's I think what we talked about, he wants to kind of give that to the team that won the last tournament.
Exactly.
So because
like as a trophy or whatnot.
Exactly. So like the trophies that we're gonna be doing are gonna be things like that.
Like, hey, if you win this league, you get a sweater, and then you also get, you know, your team gets custom-made flags.
Exactly.
As part of, you know, the,
and that's I think that's
point.
the good part too, because I think like if you ever played in the league,
100%.
I think the biggest thing was every time you won, you got a stupid T-shirt with either Tom's face on it. That was Tom's deal, and then like and everybody else is just all the same, you know.
Face on it.
And I think and that's what I'm saying. Either you get a shirt with somebody's face on it, or you get a trophy that like everybody else has had the same one. There's no difference to it besides maybe a color. I mean, it's kind of cool. Like he gives out different stuff. Hey, custom jerseys this year, and now this time this team just won, so now they're gonna get flags that we're gonna order, that he's gonna order from you guys. So I mean, then at the end of the day, you kind of sit down and you look and you're like, wow, it's totally different. I'm winning something different. Could he give you a cheap ass trophy that you're probably gonna lose? I have two in storage right now. I mean, they don't mean squat compared to flags that I'm gonna wear every season, or a jersey that I'm gonna wear every season.
So what? I guess like logistically, right, is like the turnaround time for getting the designs, getting the custom, like, so you have a team, get the custom design, kind of work with this guy and work with Ivan to kind of, I guess, you know, make sure that they're okay with the designs, because there's like
he's been pretty easy about like the design aspect of things, and that's the thing, is that this guy's literally been like, he's been in every championship game that we've had.
Okay.
From the tournament
so this is for the team that just won. Okay, cool.
So,
and I guess what I was trying to say is like, if like you're asking for a sponsorship, and your boy that does the pre-workout, he's one of your sponsors, right?
Yeah.
That way.
So like 80 flags for you guys would be ideal. And then 25 is what you're trying to replace.
25 is what I need to replace right now, but eventually it'll be a total of 80 that I need.
Yeah, because he kind of like, maybe it's like, if I'm understanding, so you want like to do like kind of like mine, but with your Undisputed logo.
Yeah, exactly.
And he wants to do a plain one, but he wants to do that 80. So then that's our set, the league set.
Yes.
But eventually the goal is to kind of get everybody to jump in and buy your guys'.
100%.
Yeah.
Because then they'll start seeing that. They'll see his, they'll see the other teams.
Guys, I'll say this, you could do it both ways. You could honestly do it both ways. Okay. So like for you guys to make some profit on each one, like each set that you're selling. So like Undisputed, since you guys are probably gonna order 25 every season, that's 100. How many seasons a year?
We're gonna be going 4
seasons. Yeah.
Let's just say it's 25 that you're replacing, right? And you want to replace them with like the same logo that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that you're gonna let people borrow, like when they're.
Those are the ones. Yeah.
Okay.
But I want it to be where it's like, you know, it's a combo. It's like your flag. Or vice versa. So either like Undisputed presents this, you know.
Why don't you make them buy a flag if they don't have one?
Well,
that's a huge culture shock for them, because they're used to having.
They're used to coming out and they're used to coming out and getting
once they start to see it, just the same way that a lot of the teams that I thought would never order jerseys now order jerseys because they like the way that they came out.
Yeah.
So they saw there was a fast turnaround.
So you think this will be a good intro for them to?
I feel like this is the exact same intro for
because the thing is,
for everything else.
He's already, when he's doing the jerseys, they're already coming up with the logo. So kind of what the deal would be, we would send it to Ivan, and Ivan would say, hey, these are the numbers for each individual player, and then they're ordering their set of 10. And then that's what the teams will be doing. But we'll still have ours until those teams start to take away from ours. They'll have their own at some point.
Right.
And then eventually we'll get to a point, like you said, that after we've already smoothed it over, and certain teams, now that we know that we have such a small base of teams that don't have it, now we're like, hey, all right, now you guys need to buy your own, because there's not really enough. Like if there's only 2 or 3 teams that don't have it, why keep bringing out flags for 2 or 3 teams? Just kind of say, hey, now you need to buy your own because you guys are the only 2 or 3 teams that don't have it.
So the reason why I bring that up is because this is kind of how I'm trying to set it up with a couple other leagues too. Is like, hey, like if you have a league, you can sell, like it's a selling point, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a great idea for eventually you guys be able to sell your own like Undisputed flag design, right? With our flags, we just make it for you, and then we offer you guys wholesale. Like obviously, like that's where we would want to go with the sponsorship, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, donate these 25, get people like used to our flags, our set, and then eventually you guys be able to like, hey, this is Undisputed. What color are they? Or how many designs?
For the other team?
For Undisputed, like what colors do you have? Black and gold. It's like a black flag with the gold.
Yeah.
Undisputed logo, and then eventually they'll be able to like buy that flag off you, where you're making a profit and we're making a profit by supplying you guys with that. So you're essentially a distributor.
Exactly.
A private like with a private label on it. you know. And then that way we don't have to really offer our logo on it, right? Our logo will be on the suction cup.
Yeah.
So it's like subtle, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's subtle. It's not like it's a private, completely custom. We can do that too.
Well, we want you, like, the thing is, we also want you guys to be, like, involved too. Like, that's the thing. Like, we want you guys to come out. We want you guys to and not just spread the word, but we want you guys to
be able to explain it better than you guys.
For sure.
And especially with the technology that you're going with, is like you went with 2 different types of materials to give you a better selection.
Yeah.
So to be able to have both of our logos on the flag, I think it's better for us, because then when we tag you guys and then somebody sees it, then they know where they're gonna
Other
place the
people
order
that
to, and we know it's like, hey, I got this order from your.
Do you guys have a website and everything?
Yeah, he's got a website. He's got a.
Is there a
Instagram
section
thing.
for like is there a section for like sponsors?
Yeah. So I'm actually having it redone right now, because apparently there's a lot of content on there that's slowing down the website when you try to go onto the schedule. So I'm actually having to change it over to a different one, but I've been wanting to take off some of the other stuff that I had, because first it was like kind of the glitz and glam, like, hey, these are all the professional photos, but now I'm actually incorporating some of like the action shots that we're actually getting from the photographer, and the videos and everything else like that. But the main thing is I want to kind of start condensing it, where it's just like you got your picture central that you can go and look up your things. But now it's like I want to take off the little reel that I have and have the sponsors that we have. So it's like Notorious Labs, bringing out a new flavor, or I'm not sure what you never told me the name of the company.
Gridiron Flags.
Oh, yeah, Gridiron Flags. So then now it's like, hey, Gridiron Flags now introducing new colors of this. So it's like that's the space that I want to be using on the website. Is when you're on there, that's what you're going to be seeing. Because first it's like, conditioning them like, oh, okay, they're playing football. Okay, that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty enticing. Oh, wow, these are actual players. And then now it's like, these are the sponsors that they're actually working with. So it gives the appropriate. Because Tom had a weird one where you had to click sponsors on a really bottom
on the hidden part of the page.
Yeah, with ours it has to be like boom, and the first thing that you're gonna see. Boom.
Yeah, and then obviously the best way to put in orders would be somehow get your contact info there, and then Ivan's contact info. So when they go on sponsors, at least like I'll be Gridiron Flags, a picture of our logo and a custom made flag, and then your contact info and Ivan's contact info, and so they can put in their custom orders. And then
that custom order, we can do the main email, and then you guys can be the CC'd one, so that we both get the same one. So I know it's like, hey, you know what? I didn't get this one. We got this order at this time, and so we can keep track of that. And one main thing is that I've learned over the time is doing a promo code, even though there's not really going to be a promo. If we start doing that, that's a good way to track which ones are the ones coming from our lead.
Yeah, that's right.
And then which orders you guys are getting, where you're like, hey, you know what? I got like 3 orders yesterday from this team and this team, they use this one. Then we know, okay, fine, it's working. We can kind of see, the analytics of like, cool, this is what we got in the first season with the second season, everything else. So we can start seeing a trend by, using each other's hashtags, using everything else. So that's the main thing, is that, with the pre-workout company, he's really big on that, and that's what we want to be big on. So it has to be like, if we're putting in the work, the other person has to be putting in the work
100%.
to keep bringing that out there.
Yeah, I mean, you got all our flags right now, but
I just have them in the car.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm being prepared. I'm gonna go sell them right now.
Yeah, I mean that's like maybe something that you and I can talk about, to help sponsor 25 flags, and then get some traffic coming your way and Ivan's way, and see,
and have you guys come out. I mean, I think that's number one key is having you guys come out and like set up a booth.
I love that.
And do your thing, man.
Straight in, dog.
Yeah, that way in the lobby. Like really, like have you guys come out, set up your booth, and I mean.
I know the lady doesn't like me. She's like, where are your friends? And I'm like, they're over there by the pool. She's like, she didn't believe me at all. She's like, you're fucking lying. You're just some fucking hobo walking right here. And she gave me like a dirty look. She's all, next time, make sure that you call and have their last name, because I didn't know. She's like,
why don't you
she asked me like,
I did. Well, I was supposed to get the conference room.
In case she does.
Just say room 153.
153.
Yeah. So she was supposed to. I was supposed to get the conference room upstairs, and she's like, I came in this morning. She goes, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know we had an event. And I'm like, okay, so can we just sit out there? She goes, okay, that's fine, that's cool. I'm like, dude, whatever. I have breakfast here. But that's what it is. Just to have you guys come out and like introduce you guys to the product, so you guys can really see it. So then you guys can see the effort that's put into it. Because I can't honestly be as all the leagues I played in. I played in Game Time. I played in Tough. I played in Zims for a little bit. I played in Top Gun. You know, I've seen it all. This league is going to go somewhere because of the mindset of the person who owns it. And the reality is everybody else's mindset, I always knew from sitting down and talking to them, it was always a fuck you system and a backstab you as soon as you turn around. That's how it always was everywhere else. At least with this dude, I know that he's putting out something that at the end of the day, he's not living off of this money. It's not making or breaking his day.
Yeah, that's
you
huge.
know, like that was the thing. Like I remember when like in Top Gun, dude, I'll never forget this moment. He was a ref named Calvin, probably one of the best people I know, and he was sitting there. He let a team play, and the team was like, "I don't have the money. I'll go to the bank at halftime and get you the money." And the team never went at halftime. Then at the game ended, then they left, never got the money, never came back. That was the last game they ever played. And Tom's in there, Calvin, how would you let him play? They owe $450. Why would you let him play? And he's like, Tom, they were playing. I'm trying to do everything. It doesn't matter what you're fucking doing. And it's like because he paid his house with that money. He paid his mortgage with that money.
Yeah.
You know, he lived off that money. Same thing with Zim. They live off that money. So at the end of the day, it's
huge.
It's huge. It's different when you're putting in a product because you just want to put in a product. And you want to put in a product that everybody's going to be happy with. It's totally different when that mindset's that way.
I agree.
You know, so that's why he'd love for sure to have you guys come out. Just look at it.
When's it going to be your first week, I guess? Or
This weekend.
This Sunday.
Oh, this Sunday?
This Sunday.
Okay, that's awesome. I'll be up there anyway if also.
Yeah, so this Sunday will be the first one. And, you know, have you guys come out and just look at it. You know, put his videos up if you guys want. Do whatever you want. But the main thing is to have you guys come see the difference of what it is compared to everybody else. And to kind of see the excitement in the way that the game is. Because even me, old school 5-on-5 guy, when you see a quarterback run, you're like, fuck, why is that guy running? And just runs slow. You're like, just let him get to half field. Don't run with him. Don't run with him, dude. He's too fast for you. So it's like, it's nice to go out there and just kind of come see it. Check it out. Look at it. See it. You know, then the next time you guys want to come back out, you know, bring a tent, bring your everything you got, anything that you want to sell flag wise. I see that you were selling cleats too. You want to bring it all out, bring it out, and sit there and people walk by. I guarantee you that somebody's gonna want to buy something from you guys.
I think tent wise, my friend actually owns the only tent printing company in Orange County.
Oh really?
Yeah. So anything print wise, the material, promotional stuff, just let me know. And this guy literally just he has a freaking
we need a tablecloth. We need a tent. We need all kinds of shit. And kind of to your point though, like it's kind of like branding. Like the Gridiron Flags, the logo has fuchsia and aqua, like boy and girl. You know, like we're trying to. I'm very cautious of like how we brand. I know this guy just like murders people and makes fun of people all day. Like, but like we want that. You know what I mean? But also like the tent. Obviously, I want to incorporate like unisexual colors, so I could invite both. Female and male.
I didn't think about that. Is that why you picked those colors?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, just
he's like, I never knew that shit, bro. We've been doing this for a while.
When you showed me the logo, I was like, I don't really like it, but I don't really care at the same time.
I'll take it, whatever way it works.
It's growing on me.
Yeah. But no, I'm down to make a tent and obviously see if goes a bit. But that's why I haven't bought so much stuff either, right? Because I was like, all right, how do I want to do it? But regardless, I think you should send the idea or your logo, send it to this guy and Ivan, and then have Ivan do a couple mock drafts of some designs. Be like, hey, I want these. This is gonna be like my official logo. Now the only thing I say, if you go black, you want to have two colors because what if they wear black shorts and they have black flags?
Yeah. So that's why we want to go with the black and gold. Primarily, I'd like the gold to be the part that's
the main part,
the main body, and have the black be on there because it's gonna be more legible. Put a little white outline on it so that it stands out.
Yeah, I mean, send it to Ivan. He's fucking. That's what he does. You know what I mean?
Ivan was quick. I sent him something. He was like,
he'll make it look dope. So send it to him. He'll come out with some different colors, different renderings.
Yeah, whatever ends up working. I mean, I'm not completely stuck on that. It's just my idea was like something that'll stick out where nobody's showing up with gold shorts or
exactly.
It's just the color that stands out, a lot.
Definitely shoot Ivan, and then obviously, talk to Ivan to see, what he thinks of the sponsorship.
Partnership. Sponsorship. We're a partner.
That's right.
Remember that. Not sponsorships, partnership.
No, 100%, man.
That's the deal. It's to grow with each other. That's what it is. At the end of the day, you can grow it. You can grow the way that you're growing now, and it's successful, and it's gonna make you money. or you can grow with somebody that's going to continuously put your stuff out, regardless if you're at a field marketing it or not. And that's really where it's at, where you want to be, where it's constantly, you're getting orders regardless if you're at a field or regardless if you're just getting it over the phone from us.
No, 100%.
You know, and I think that's the big part. And like I'm always gonna relate back to like when I go see your videos from Mexico, dude. It's just how it's all so coordinated, and you watch those, how set up that is. That is beautiful. That's what I want to see here, and that I know that's what's gonna end up happening here, because that's what I want to see. Because it's the love of the game. You see those people, how excited they are to play flag football. You see the people screaming in the crowd, how they're excited to see a touchdown, to see a dude get the shit drooped out of him. Yeah. That's what you want to see, and I feel like it was that at one point, and it was lost. I remember, I don't know if you ever played in a Top Gun tournament in Santa Fe Springs, dude, but those things were fucking jam-packed. They used to do 2 hours morning in the afternoons because there was just so many teams. That's what we want to see. But the thing was, because of so many people's greed, it separated everybody. And instead of it being one big thing, now it's one little thing here, one little thing there. And somebody does it all right, and the other guy, not so much. And that's what sucks. I just want to bring it all back to the way it was, together. So then it's big like it was. Because let me tell you, even when I watch the AFFL, I'm not impressed by that. I mean, Top Gun in his heyday fucking shit the shit out of AFFL. Because you see all the best athletes in the world. It was here in California. It was not in anywhere else. It was here. In the early 2000s, late 2000s, that's where it was at. It was here. Top Gun was the best athletes you'll ever find in the world were here. That's what I want to see again. Not the way that it kind of
heard it here first.
You heard it here first. It's true. It's the reality. That's what it was. It was the best athletes, the guys that came out to play, hungry dogs. You see those guys, there was no smile. It was guys with a mission to fucking win games. Now everybody's a bunch of whining crybabies. But I mean, besides that, back in the day, that's what it was. It was about destroying the dude next to you. Oh, I'm gonna burn this guy. I'm calling this route right now. I'm running a 9. He's gonna be 2 miles behind me. Watch this. And dude runs that 9 and burns him. And that's what you love to see. And you don't really see that anymore. You kind of see everybody kind of going through the motion or kind of just going out there to play. It's not exciting anymore because the competition is so spread out. Some leagues have a couple good teams. Some other leagues have a couple good teams. And some leagues don't even have a couple good teams. And you're like, how do you make this cool to watch? You know?
So, regardless whether I don't know, sponsorship talk, we still got to do it. Like you have to replace the 25 regardless, right? Like you need to replace this like how like
as
today,
soon as
tomorrow.
possible. If it's something that we can do, like fast before Sunday, then great. If not, then I was just gonna end up having to just order the regular ones that I end up ordering, just because I do need to buy it by Sunday.
How much would that cost you usually? 25 of those.
Usually.
Do you already have the design that you want for that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you airdrop them? That's me.
You know what? I don't have it on.
Oh, okay.
You're talking about the flag attack ones, right?
Yeah. It's the flag attacks. I don't, because this is actually not my regular phone.
Okay,
broke my kid broke my other one, so I don't have anything saved on this one. But
no,
I can send it to you.
Whenever you do, because then I could I'll send to my buddy who prints it, and then I could have them. I should be able to have it by Sunday.
You can have the draft by today,
Okay, as soon as I get home, it'll be like about an hour and a half to get home. As soon as I get in front of my laptop, I can send it over to you, and basically just get that going right there. Yeah. The flag attack ones, I mean, I get a pretty good deal on Amazon. There's this one person, I want to say he drops them for like around roughly 30 to 45 depending on the color, for the set of 12.
Oh, nice. It's really good.
Yeah, but again, it's like it's their bulk, and him selling it in bulk as well.
You need to buy like 3 of those, right?
No, he lets me because I did so many in the beginning.
So
he just already knows where it's like, hey man, look at every season these are falling apart on me. Yeah. And he's like, that's fine. Just send me an email. Don't order it through Amazon. Just send me the email, and then I'll take care of you.
Oh, nice.
So and then he knows when we open up our second location and stuff like that. He already knows I'm gonna order everything straight through him. But obviously, if this ends up working out, then this ends up being a much more.
Now we can avoid that now. Like, because I got the set that you mailed me, and I fucking love that shit. I don't know. I'll show it to you.
Well, you have your phone running right now?
Yeah.
Can you hit up Patas on WhatsApp? Yeah. Or I'll call him.
Yeah, but the ones that he sent me, like, I love those things, dude. The black was nice, and flags
for
were
the
great.
25, how much would you pay them? Like roughly, like
I think
$80?
roughly last time that he gave me flags for this last tournament, he gave them to me for $30 set. So it was $60 because it was apparently white's the most unpopular color.
Really?
Yeah. He charges more for blue, green, and the red, and then you got the yellow and the white that are like never, I guess not as popular. So he's like, I'll give you anything yellow and white for this, but any other color I want 45 for it. I'm just like, okay, well,
I mean,
just give me the fucking cheap one. So like, yeah, white works out better anyways because a lot of people don't wear white shorts. So
yeah, white shorts are not a common norm. You get like black, gray, neon green, pink shorts, but white shorts. Even though there was one time I did wear a pair of white shorts with some white flags and the guy was all mad. I keep grabbing his fucking shorts, man. It's fucking bullshit. Tom just switches flags. I'm like, come on, dude. Don't be a little bitch. Don't cry about it. Just because you couldn't pull it. Don't be upset. Don't be jealous. But yeah. I mean, it's a pretty good deal. I mean, I really, for you guys to come out and check it out. I mean, that'd be number one for me in my opinion.
Have you seen pictures of our flags? Have you seen our Instagram?
No, because I just found out the name of it. But he sent me a picture of his. But obviously, like, you know, that
didn't work.
Here, no, see if he answers me.
Alright.
Or calls back.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'd have to talk to these guys to see like what that investment looks like. It's 25 sets without, you know, retail for like what?
I think at this point you just need flags, or do you need the belts as well?
No, the belts as well, because the 25 that I'm replacing, it's either the flag broke off or the buckle part in the front ends up breaking off too.
So they need full sets.
Like here's some orders we just.
They need some full sets with.
Oh wow, this is dope.
Belts. And,
if you look at the belts, that's what I like about the belts, because it's harder.
So you guys are doing the heat transfer, huh? Almost like a sublimation, but not. That's sick. Because I can see the burn marks.
Kind of belts and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool. And these are the ones that I'm because they're the adjustable.
Yeah.
Without having to have. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I open it or?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Oh wow, they yep.
Oh yeah, I can see what you mean.
The cool part about the belt is that like you can, even no matter what color it is, it fits a fat boy, so that's always a plus.
Yeah, I had a bunch of people ask me that.
That's the best part. It fits a fat boy either way.
Yeah, that's sick. And the fact that there's the different colors of the bands.
Yeah.
That helps out a lot.
Because then it just makes it easier, because then they can coordinate their flag with their belt color.
Yep.
And then it just makes it so much easier for them.
We also have these kind of flags.
Oh, okay. See branded ones and okay.
That's a whole different material.
That's sick.
But
can you print on both sides on these too?
Nah. Okay, just do the one side. That's the thing with those.
Now, if you do print on both sides, you want to keep it like. So what would happen is that it would transfer over, right? So when you print, you want to print this way, so it'd be like
right behind
you
each
know
other.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. You can't have like a reversal.
No, yeah.
Because then if you reverse it,
it'll come
out. You see it on the other end.
Yeah.
So you can do it. It like doubles the price though, because essentially once they run it through the sheet, they have to get the same sheet,
and
change the direction of the color, and then do it again on the other end.
Okay.
But then they have to reverse all the other ones that are being printed on that same sheet.
I see what you mean.
So it's possible, but like number one, the design is important. Number two,
more work.
It doubles the price. Yeah.
But
For
no,
them.
that's actually really sick. Both of these.
I like these in the sense of like how they feel, but it just makes it, the material makes it harder to work with when it comes to designs, and the other ones are designs.
I
Just
think
any type of
I think
we easily look like we're doing drug deals right now.
Like what are these guys doing here?
A wise man once said, tough times don't last, but tough people do. That's all I'm about right there, man. Let's get it. Pound for pound, round for round, king I stand. Legend for legend, it's on the line, God and man. Whoever can get it, come on, cause I'm ready. I'll lay you all down at the same time they let me. Am I the undefeated? Am I the undisputed? Am I the world's greatest? Am I the best to do it? Look at these stacks, look at these racks. Am I the connoisseur? You love to hate, but hate me now. Your hatred I'll endure. Pound for pound, round for round, still claiming champion. Yeah. Pound for pound, round for round, still claiming champion. Yeah. Pound for
That's
pound,
fun, huh?
round for round, still claiming
Talk a little
champion.
background stuff, all the anger, but mostly I think it was all positive. We're looking on the up and up, and I'm excited. Like I said in the beginning, like I'm just excited to work with Mark and see what we can do, dude. I mean, I get pumped up for anyone starting new ventures, different ventures, especially when they sound as passionate as him. So I'm excited to see how his progression goes with his business, with the league, and seeing how we could help out along the way. So, in saying that, what do we got coming up? I think we're recording a podcast this week with Steve Marquez, brother from another mother. Me and DJ working on a video Thursday, pretty much disrespecting all TJ Flag, but whatever. This weekend, the FFL stuff, I'll be up there in Irvine, record, hopefully, then I'm going to go to Beach City Sports, a little after season party, which should be fun, see how that goes. A little awkward to show up, don't know anyone, but doesn't matter. I put myself in bad situations all the time. And then Sunday, we got tough games, so I think I'm going to have to come back and take pictures. So, if you guys want to see me, look up all the tour dates on the website. Promo code Mondo's a Man 2019. Get you nothing on nothing. And I love you guys.
I'm undisputed. Rope, I size him up, I'm jabbing, swinging left and right. Rope a dope, a shoulder roll, I'm centerfold, prepared to fight. Back him up, break him down, and waiting on that perfect shot. Titan core, train for war, fight until I'm at the top. Hated on by many, but respected by so many. It's a pity, I'm a champion, you don't understand the meaning of a champion. Champion, undisputed champion. Trials and tribulations, still I made it, and I'm cashing in.
Pound for pound, round for round, still claiming champion. Pound for pound, round for round, still claiming champion. Pound for pound, round for round, still claiming champion. Still claiming champion. Still claiming champion. Pound for pound, round for round, still claiming champion. Pound for pound, round for round, still claiming champion. Pound